looks like we're ready to go ahead and get started with the G chord. And what we're going to do is I want you to go ahead and start with your ring finger. And we're going to put that ring finger is right here on the second string on the third fret. Now the reason we're starting with this finger is because that's going to be very important. This is going to act as a pivot point throughout all of our chords that we're going to do through these lessons. So what I want you to do is get that position, take a good look at that right there. Then I want you to go ahead and put your pinky down right there next to it on the first string on the third fret. Once you've got those two, let's get kind of comfortable. Notice I've got my thumb just kind of resting on the back of the guitar, giving that a little support right there. And then what I want you to do is once you've got that, just kind of take your index finger here, put him right there on the fifth string on the second fret, and then lastly we're going to place our middle finger right down there on the sixth string on the third fret. Now once you've got that, I want you to take a look at how I've got my hand, how it's positioned. I want you to take a look at the curvature of my wrist right here. Okay. I want you to take a look at the curvature, the arch on my fingers, and how I'm coming down with my fingertips and not just flat on the guitar. And they're nice and even in the position of my hand. Just go ahead and kind of get a look at that. I want you to take your time, get structured in this, okay? And then what I want you to do is go ahead and strum out the first chord. Okay, now what we're checking for is intonation. What intonation is, it's a term that means the tone that we're hearing coming out of the guitar. And more importantly, the tone that we're hearing coming off of each string. Now, if you're a beginner to the guitar, which if you're watching this, most likely you are, you might have something that sounds more like, you know, if it's that good. Which is okay. This is your first time playing. This is probably one of your first lessons. So let's work on that by troubleshooting it a little bit. And what we're going to do is, if you notice how my hand is positioned, let's start with the top string. Okay. If you're getting a nice tone out of there, nice intonation on that string, then we're not having a problem with it. If you're getting something more like that, probably just means your finger position, you need to be more in the center of the fret and put just a little bit more pressure on that string. Once you've got that down, let's go on and move down to the fifth string, check the intonation there. Once again, same principle applies. You need to have enough pressure on the string, not trying to snap the neck of the guitar in half. Just enough pressure to get that to ring out. Now, if you're still getting that type of sound right there, a slapping noise, chances are what's going on is your middle finger is actually touching down on that string. And that's fixed very simply by looking at my hand and just arching it up a little bit more. Push your arm out. Watch the motion of my wrist. Push your arm out. And see how as I do that, it increases the arch that's in my fingers. You can also try changing your thumb position on the back of the guitar. You can move it up some. That might help you out a little bit. You can move it down on the back of the guitar some more. That might help you. Everybody's style is going to be different. How each person holds the guitar and what's comfortable for them and what works for them is going to be a little bit different. I don't want you to be locked into one particular style. I want you to get comfortable with the style that works for you. So let's go ahead, let's reconstruct our chord. If you have to, kind of shake your hand out a little bit right now. Might be feeling a little bit stiff if you're not used to having your hand in this type of position. Just kind of work that out a little bit. Let's go ahead and get our position back on the guitar. Okay. And let's try strumming that out again. Now, as we get here, hopefully you're hearing those strings ringing out pretty decent, which is going to be your third and your fourth string. Because usually our fingers aren't in the way of those on a G chord. So let's get down here to your first and your second string. Now, if you're getting a nice intonation like that, that's great. No need to do any more work on there. But if you're getting more of a type sound, try pressing down just a little bit harder and you should get this. Now, if you've had a chance to do that and we've got a fairly decent intonation, or something close to it. Don't expect perfection your first time around. You still might have a couple little dead notes in there, but it might take some time before your hand develops that muscle memory and the strength to get that proper intonation to ring through. So we don't want to stop if you're not getting a full tone on the guitar. We want to continue to move on and keep going with that. So let's go ahead, strum that out. See if you've got fairly decent intonation. If you've troubleshot that chord, let's go ahead and try some strumming. And what I would like to do is a nice, even 1, 2, 3, 4 pattern on the guitar. It's going to be very simple. So if you follow along with me, we're going to do this. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's do that again. I'm going to slow it down a little bit more for you. Ready, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and again, 2, 3, 4, one more time, 2, 3, 4. Now hopefully you have a very decent intonation, a good tone with that, kind of getting a little bit more comfortable with holding your guitar this way as you're strumming that out. So I want you to keep practicing that nice even 4 count. And then once you've got a pretty decent sound, a pretty good tone on the guitar, you know, kind of break away from the norm right there and just kind of give it one of those. Have some fun with that chord, especially if you finally got it, if you've got a fairly decent intonation. I want you to bang around on that chord a little bit, hear it, develop that muscle memory in your hand, make a joyful noise unto the Lord, get that thing ready, and we'll go ahead and see you on the next chord.